Hey, Shalom Masha'Allah, I want to start off souls, but give no praise to Yahweh Hashem, Yahshua Hashem, Dash. Double honesty, apostles of GMS and honesty, brothers doing the work in truth and sincerity. So, quick one, Windrush Day, right? It's, what do you call it? It's anniversary of when, a whole bunch of Jakes from the, from the West Indies, it's basically tribe of Benjamin, were basically invited here to the UK to work. Right, and work they did, right? What do you call it? I ain't even going. I'm just gonna jump to information. Don't want to read. You know that man, just he's demon, right? So it says the celebration marks 72 years since the Empire Windrush ship brought around 500 Jamaicans to work in the UK at the invitation of the British government. Thousands more would arrive from the region in the coming years, and this is the thing, in 2018, more than 80 were wrongly deported, and many more were incorrectly denied benefits or medical care due to the Home Office failings. A review of the scandal published in March found that immigration rules were tightened with complete disregard for the Windrush generation and said the problems were foreseeable and avoidable. Right, which these things most of the time are you're telling me that no one in the entire department, right, of the government called the Home Office, thought and said, what about all of them people that came to the UK? But why, this man's MO. He has need of you, and he gets rid of you, right? What do you call when he no longer has need of you, right? So this is Sirach 13:4. If thou be for his profit, he will use thee, but if thou have nothing, he will forsake thee, right? And the thing is, I remember the German footballer Mesut Ozil, right? Which he's a Jake, right? But if you know the name Mesut Ozil, right? Mesut is that's a Turkish name, right? Why? Because his lineage goes back to Turkey, right? And something similar happened over there in Germany also, right? Where the Germans after the war, requested, basically requested young men to come and help rebuild the nation. Right, that's what you do when all your men die. Who's going to rebuild your nation? No, you need to import labor, right? But that Mercer Earl, he said the same. Look, man, when I'm winning you guys trophies, I'm German. But as soon as I start performing badly, I'm Turkish again, right? Why? Because when you're of a benefit to this man, he's gonna use you, man, right? He's gonna ride you. Like for instance, the World Cup winning team, France, right? That was just Africa United, man. That's what that team was. Right, all of those different players of quote unquote African descent, basically Jakes that had been scattered in Africa, right? They're the ones who won that World Cup, man, right? But and they'll be hey, they're French, but if they weren't World Cup, then they're niggas again, right? If they weren't World Cup winning players, they'd be niggas, right? If they weren't footballers, they'd just be niggas, right? Why? Because this man is just going to use and use and use, right? It says, if thou have anything, he will live with thee. Yea, he will make thee bear and will not be sorry for it. If he have need of thee, he will deceive thee and smile upon thee. Right. And in fact, this is making me, I'll jump back to that. This is making me think of this particular one here, right? That's the wrong button. Sirach, the 12th chapter, right? It says this: never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness, right? So iron will rust, right? That's some science. People want to say the Bible is a book of fairy tale, but that there is science, right? It says, though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust hath not been altogether wiped away. Right, so though he comes down to you, and he tries to be all humble and whatever, what have you. No, don't fall for it. It's basically what the scripture's saying. Don't fall for it, man. Right? Because that wickedness is there. That was the point of that. That analogy in verse 10 for like as iron rusteth, right? Because once again, iron will rust, right? It's science, man. You have iron and oxygen, you get oxidization of that, which is rust, right? That So that's basically saying, look, man, he'll humble himself. He'll be like, oh, come, we'll take you in. You'll be allowed to stay. You have a better life, this, that, and the other. But then guess what? They came here, they caught nothing but hell when they came here. Yeah, they got to work, but they struggled to find houses, this, that, and the other, right? Verse 12 says, set him not by thee, lest when he hath overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place, right? Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat. And what was it? I forget which one of them other Israelite camps. I think it must have been GOCC, because they say Edomites won't be destroyed, right? And the story was that basically them Edomites try basically taking the position that those basically started trying to take it over, man, right? It says, neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat, and thou at the last remember my words and be pricked therewith. Right. So basically, when this man's shown his horns to you, right, you trusted him, but then when he showed his horns to you, right, basically saying, you be pricked by eye, you be cut. You be like, oh man, fuck, I should have listened to what the scripture said, right? Because the scripture is plain, man. Never trust thine enemy. Ain't no reason to trust your enemy, right? And hey, that's especially if he's giving you good stuff, right? Because Esau will do all that, man. Right, this is Ecclesiastes 7:7. It says, surely oppression maketh the wise man mad. Right, so this part is going into the fact that those of us who are wise, right, we're in this world and we're oppressed, man. Why? Because we know what the hell is going on. We know that you got the basis of men and rulership, right? And we know that this world is full of wickedness, right? The point I wanted to get of this particular verse was, and the gift destroyeth the heart. Because when you get goodies, right, that's when your eyes get blinded, man. Right, that's why you get the concept of a bribe, right? Guys obviously guilty, and then he's like, look, man, I'll just, let me give you £1,000. Guy will like, no, let me give you, okay, let me give you £10,000. Then all of a sudden, the man's opinion of the matter changes, right? Now, it's the thing, Esau will try to give you them bribes and gifts, right? So you think that he's your friend, right? There's talk of reparations. Oh, we're going to give reparations, this, that, and the other, right? There's talks of different, little things that Esau wants to do for black people, quote unquote, right? And what's that going to do? That's going to lull Jake into a false sense of security. But we read it there in Sirach 12. Never trust thine enemy, right? It says, where am I? So this is back in Sirach 13, right? And 6, it says, if he have need of thee, right, he will deceive thee, right? Once again, yeah, so, he'll give you them gifts, right? He'll tell you, I'll come over and everything will be okay. We'll look after you, please just help us, rebuild, right? And then down the line, what do? Right, but more or less just been like, oh, oops, you've been deported, oops, right? And then went and conflated it with criminals, right? Yeah, he had one or two criminals that are among them. Well, what was he doing by doing that, right? He was basically trying to make it seem like anyone who's fighting for the Windrush generation to get their rights to stay in the UK. He was basically trying to make it seem like if you're doing that, you're fighting for criminals to be in the UK, which that wasn't the case, right? This man did what he always did, and he lied, right? Scripture says in Psalms 58:3, the wicked are estranged from the wombs, right? Born speaking lies, roughly paraphrased, right? It says, and smile upon thee and put thee in hope, right? Right? He will speak thee fair and say, what wantest thou, right? And he will shame thee by his meats until he have drawn thee dry twice or thrice. And at the last he will laugh at thee to scorn afterward. When he seeth thee, he will forsake thee and shake his head at thee. Right? Beware that thou be not deceived and brought down in thy jollity. Right? Yeah, man, you would have had certain of these jakes that were caught up in the Windrush scandal, man. Right, and then they would have been having a good day, and maybe they just needed to go to the doctor because it said, they had access to healthcare, or maybe just needed their benefits or whatever, what have you. And then all of a sudden, they go from, oh, I just need to get this, to fuck, I'm on a plane back to Jamaica, and I ain't what do you call it? I ain't been there in so long, right? What was I gonna get? This is Psalms 55, and I think I'm gonna start from 20. Right, it says, he hath put forth his hand against such as be at peace with them. Right, he hath broken his covenant. Yeah, he broke his. That was an example of breaking his covenant, man. Right, he basically said all these people in asked. We read the article. It says at the invitation of the British government. Right, he asked all these people to come over. Right, and then when they came over, once again, they treated them like shit. And then down the line, he's kicking them back home, sending them back home, right? And that's once again, that's this man's track record, right? Look what he did to Gad and Reuben, man, right? The North American so-called Native Americans and the Seminole Indians, man, right? It says the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords, right? So he will speak nice and smoothly to you, right? Oh, black people, they are more likely to die of this coronavirus. So, we think that they should get the vaccine first, right? So he'll say all of those things to Jake, right? And those of our people that haven't got their eyes open, right? They're gonna fall for it. But guess what? It's their fault because, hey, what does the scripture say? All the sinners of my people shall die, right? And what does the scripture say? It says, the wicked which are thy sword, right? So Esau is the sword of the Lord, man. So if our people, right, get taken by his traps, hey, that's on them, man, right? What did I want to get also? Right, it says, when you consider a passport, man, that's some wicked shit, man. Visas and shit, right? This is Micah 2:1. It says, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. That's not what I want. I wanted verse 10, but I'll read down here anyway. It says, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hands, right? So these elites, right, they basically do whatever they want. They push through certain legislations and this, that, and the other. Why? Because who's going to stop them, right? That's what it means that because it is in the power of their hands. You read Job 9:24. Scripture says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, right? It says, and they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. Right, verse 10, right, which is what she wanted, right? It says, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, right? So, hey, you have them jakes, I'm black and I'm British, right? Die hard black British, right, as they like to call themselves, right? Which they're Israelites, man, right? But Esau wants you to hold on to that term black. He doesn't mind you being anything. He doesn't mind you being what do you call it, a Black Panther. He doesn't mind you being what do you call it, a Nubian, right, an Egyptian, right? He doesn't mind you being any of those. But what he does have a problem with you being is in the Israelite, man, right? Why? Because that's the real threat to his society. Because if you're a Black Panther, he knows one thing that you dumb boneheaded Negroes don't know. He knows his blessing is the sword, right? And to be fair, you Jakes, deep down, you know it. You know Esau will come down on you, right? It says, yeah. So it says, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, right? So this place ain't our rest, man, right? Nothing we can do, right, in a carnal sense, right, will ever make this place a place of rest for us, right? Why? Because it is polluted, right? You have your children. Esau owns your children, right? Forces you to send them to school. Now his teacher is a tranny, right? He's in school with trannies. Then he's coming home to you and he's saying, "Daddy, I think I'm a girl," right? And then you say anything about it, guess what? He gets taken away. How is that rest? How is that rest? It says it shall destroy you even with the sword destruction, right? Yeah, have I got anything else to say? I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, so I'll close it there, man. Said this one was just to commemorate, in quotes, a Windrush day, man. All right, so as always, Lord's Word, I was edifying. Till next time, Shalom.